Hey, fight fans, Combat Sports Insider is back again. Alex Pereira's career has been nothing short of legendary, yet somehow people still find ways to discredit him. How does a guy who conquered two divisions, knocked out some of the best fighters in the world, and fought nothing but killers still have doubters? This is the same Pereira who dethroned Israel Adesanya, moved up to light heavyweight, edged out Jan Blachowicz, knocked out Jiri Prochazka for the vacant title, and then defended it with a brutal finish over Jamahal Hill at UFC 300. Yet, after his loss to Magomed Ankalaev at UFC 313, the question isn't just about what's next. It's about whether he can ever get back on top. But let's be real, his loss to Ankalaev wasn't a dominant beatdown. Many expected Ankalaev to use his wrestling to dominate, but that never happened. Instead, he outstruck Pereira and stayed a step ahead throughout the fight. The fight was close at times, but the unanimous decision made it clear. Ankalaev figured him out. So the question is, does Pereira deserve an immediate rematch? Would a second fight go any differently, or did Ankalaev already crack the code? If the UFC doesn't book the rematch right away, then what? The light heavyweight division isn't getting any easier, and plenty of contenders are waiting for their shot at Pereira. Jiri Prochazka has been calling for a rematch, Jan Blachowicz wants another crack at him, and Jamahal Hill is lurking, hungry for revenge after getting knocked out at UFC 300. And let's not forget Alexander Rakic, who's been talking for years about how he's the guy to beat Pereira. He's got the size, power, and grappling to make things difficult, and after his close fight with Ankalaev, he could be a major threat. Then we have the rising names. Carlos Ulberg is on a hot streak, but he hasn't faced top-tier competition yet. Nikita Krylov is another option, but does a fight with him even make sense for Pereira? If he's not getting an immediate rematch, does he risk fighting a lower-ranked opponent and potentially losing his spot in the title picture? And then there's the wild card, heavyweight. The UFC was already hinting at Pereira moving up before his loss. But now would it still make sense? Heavyweight is a completely different challenge. He'd be giving up size, power, and possibly durability against guys like Sergey Pavlovich, who can put anyone's lights out with one punch, or Jailton Almeida, who would turn it into a grappling nightmare. Even someone like Derek Lewis, unpredictable and dangerous, could be a huge problem. If the UFC does want Pereira at heavyweight, what's the best matchup? A fight with Cyril Gane or Alexander Volkov might make more sense since they're also strikers. But let's be honest, the UFC wants big money fights. If John Jones finally returns, is that the fight they want to make? Or is it Tom Aspinall, the interim champ, who gets the Pereira matchup? And speaking of the UFC's direction, what does this mean for the sport? A lot of their biggest stars have been losing. Sean O'Malley fell to Merab Dvalishvili. Ilia Topuria is thinking about moving up in weight. Leon Edwards lost to Bilal Muhammad, Israel Adesanya, and Sean Strickland both lost to Dricus du Plessis, and now Pereira lost to Ankalaev. The UFC is clearly looking at boxing for its next big moves, pushing for events like Canelo versus Crawford in September. Are we entering a new era where crossover fights become the biggest attractions? So what do you think? Should Pereira get the rematch with Ankalaev? Should he stay at light heavyweight and take out contenders? Or is it time to move up and test himself at heavyweight? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Combat Sports Insider for more deep dives into the fight game.